Hi, I'm Swaruppa Sai, course instructor for Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulics Lab. In this presentation, we will learn about how to determine the performance and plot characteristic curves for a Pelton wheel. For carrying out the experiment, the apparatus and the experimental setup required will be of Pelton wheel with a breakdown arrangement, tachometer and U-tube manometer. So here in this figure, we can see the Pelton wheel. There is a runner at the center and at the periphery there are cups which are being attached. So these cups are also called as vanes or buckets. There is a divider in between which divides the cup into two equal portions. Here we can see the nozzle which is connected to the inlet, and there is a pipe which runs into the sump. So once the pump is switched on, the water from the sump tank will flow from the delivery pipe into the inlet, and then through the nozzle the water flows over the buckets. So once the water flows over the buckets, the runner starts to rotate. This Pelton wheel is referred to as hydraulic machine, which is used to convert hydraulic energy, that is the energy possessed by the flowing water, into the mechanical energy. These turbines are defined as the hydraulic machines, and they are used for converting hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy. Hydraulic turbines are of different types according to specification, and Pelton wheel or turbine is one of the types of the hydraulic turbine. So this is the schematic sketch of the hydraulic turbine. At the center we can see the shaft, surrounding which there is a wheel, which is also referred to as runner, and at the periphery we can see that there are buckets being attached. These are also referred to as vanes, or they are also called as cups. And here we can see there is a nozzle through which the water flows. This is the inlet pipe. The water from the sump will flow into the inlet pipe, and from the nozzle the water hits the buckets. And here we can see this sphere ball which moves forward and backward with the rotation of this wheel. So when this sphere ball moves forward, the flow of water over the buckets is stopped, and when it moves backward with the rotation of the wheel, then the water is allowed to flow out of the nozzle. So this is what is the wheel which is used to regulate the flow of water. This is the nozzle. At the center there will be shaft. This is the runner, and these are the buckets or cups. So this is the enlarged figure which we can see. Here we can see the wheel which is used to regulate the flow of water. This is the inlet pipe. Here we can see nozzle, inside of which there will be a sphere ball. These are the buckets or cups which are attached to the periphery of the runner, and this is what is the outer casing in which the Pelton wheel is enclosed. So this is the backside view of the experimental setup. Here we can see the pump. This is the suction pipe through which the water from the sump will flow in, and then it will be delivered into the Pelton wheel through this delivery pipe. So here also we can see the same thing. This is the delivery pipe which is used to allow the water to flow over the runner. On top here we can see that there are two loading drums which are fixed, and these loading drums will be used to measure the load applied over the runner. This is the tachometer which is used to note down the speed of the wheel. So here in this tabular column we can see the observations which will have to be noted down. So first we will conduct the experiment for constant head. That means we will maintain constant head of water over the runner. There will be 5 readings which will be noted down. So first reading we will note down is of speed. So speed will be noted down in RPM. This is the tachometer which is used to note down the speed. This figure indicates the backside wheel of the Fenton wheel. So this is the Fenton wheel and these are the 2 loading drums. And here we can see there is a marking being done so that the tachometer points over this marking. Once we press the button, we will be able to point out to the marking which is shown over here. So the red light coincides with the marking done, and note down what is the speed in RPM. So first reading which we note down is of speed. Next we will have to note down what is the head of water. So the nozzle head will be noted down with the help of the pressure gauge which is fixed over here on the wall. That means the head of water which is flowing has to be noted down. That is nothing but the nozzle head. Here this pressure gauge will give us the reading in terms of kg per centimeter square, and since we will have to find out nozzle head, we have to convert it in terms of meter of water by multiplying the value which we get from the pressure gauge by 10. Next we note down the load on the drum, that is S1 and S2. So S1 value we will note down from the drum which is on the left hand side, and S2 value we will note down from the drum which is on the right hand side. Next we will note down what is the manometer difference. So here on the delivery pipe we can see there is a venturimeter which is fixed inside, and the inlet of the venturimeter is fixed to one limb of the manometer and the throat section is fixed to other limb of the manometer. Due to the flow of water, we need to note down what is the manometer difference. So for that, note down what is H1 and what is H2 to find out the manometer difference. Later on, we need to increase the load. So whatever reading we note down for the first trial will be for 0 reading on the drum. So for 0 reading of the load, we will note down the rest of the reading. So here we can see that the pointer is adjusted to 0. So for 0 load, we will note down all the values. And for the second trial, we will increase the load on the drum. So for increase of load, note down the rest of the readings. Later on, we need to find out torque, SHP, discharge, WHP, efficiency, NU and QU. So for finding SHP, we have the formula 2 pi mt divided by 60 into 1000 kilowatt, where L is the speed in RPM which we have noted down using tachometer. T is the torque which has to be found out, and it can be calculated using formula effective brake radius into load, that is denoted by X. And this effective brake radius can be calculated using formula brake drum radius plus belt thickness. These values are known. Brake drum radius is 0.135 and the belt thickness is 0.06. So the value is 0.141 meter. And now find out torque using equation x into 9.81 into 0.141, which is the effective brake radius. So x we have calculated, which is in terms of kg, and we'll have to multiply it by 9.81 as we need the value of torque in Newton meter. Then find out actual discharge using formula Q actual equal to A1 A2 divided by square root of A1 square minus A2 square into CD into square root of 2GH. So this formula is used for venturimeter. We know the quotient of discharge for venturimeter as 0.98, and H is to be found out by knowing the manometer difference, which we have noted down in the tabular column, and multiply it by 12.6. D1 is the diameter of inlet and D2 is the diameter of outlet, which will be given in the observation, with which we will be able to find out what is the A1 and A2. A1 will be pi by 4 D1 square and A2 will be pi by 4 D2 square. Now we can find power developed by turbine, that is WHP, which is equal to rho G QA into H. Rho is the density of water, which is 1000 kg per cubic meter, and H is the nozzle head in terms of kg per centimeter square. QA is the actual discharge, and efficiency can be found out using the equation SHP, which we have already calculated, divided by WHP, and WHP can be calculated using formula rho G QA into H. And now we can find specific speed using formula Nu equal to N divided by square root of H, which will be in RPM, and specific discharge, that is Qu, can be found out in the equation Qa divided by H, which will be again in RPM. Thank you.